What's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Spectacular Spoiler League. I'm one of your hosts, the Pandan Superman, the mayor of Hype City, HazyRome, and of course, I'm joined by the Gotham Knight, the Prime Minister of Post-Production, DeepBoyce. DeepBoyce, man, what it is, why we here?
Nah, we're just gonna get together and do a little countdown. Top five, top five CW-verse live-action costumes. So that's spanning Supergirl, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, and The Flash.
The inspiration behind this list comes from the reveal of Black Lightning as Cress Williams is Black Lightning and his live-action costume. So straight up, that's gonna be one of our honorable mentions, just because it's a dope costume. We haven't seen it in action yet, but to start off, before we start the top five, I have to say, that's our first honorable mention. I'm eager to see it in live action, see how it is once the Black Lightning TV series begins. But, I mean, it looks pretty dope, man. What you think?
Yeah, I mean, that's the main reason we didn't really consider it for the list, is because we haven't even seen the show yet. It's not in action.
Exactly.
But we like what we saw from the promotional image. So.
Exactly, man. What's our next honorable mention, man?
We also got Black Siren, which is Earth 2, Laurel Lance, evil Black Siren, who actually has the metahuman powers. She didn't quite make the list like some of the other ones because the costume isn't as, it doesn't pop as much. But, I don't know. It's always great to kind of see her pop up in the show, and we should definitely see a lot more of her, which is a pretty good character. That's a good version of Laurel right there. Yeah,
Laurel Lance, she got a lot of hate. She got a lot of hate from us, too, in the past. But at the end of the day, I think the Black Siren character is pretty cool. And, I personally was the one who was against it being in top five just because I thought there were better costumes, but it looks good on her and it suits the character. No. But our next honorable mention is Wild Dog from Arrow. So Wild Dog, once again, one of those people who it's not better than any of the costumes in the top five in our opinion, but I respected the fact that it's literally like a comics to live action, perfect adaptation. It's straight out of the comics into live action, almost like clothing item for clothing item, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. It looks really good, and I can't hate on that, you know what I'm saying? So I respect that for being straight up and a straight up adaptation from the comics.
Yeah, absolutely. Next honorable mention is Nyssa Al Ghul.
Nyssa,
looking pretty fly for League of Assassins or League of Shadows. I always confuse which one it is, but again, it's a costume that isn't too different, doesn't vary too much from what you typically expect Ra's al Ghul or one of these ninjas to look like. But, the touch of red looks nice.
No, I agree. Next up of our honorable mentions, we've got the Reverse Flash. So this is like Eobard Thawne, Harrison Wells, they both wore the same costume. It's an awesome adaptation of the comic book version in the sense that it doesn't rock with the straight up yellow, because let's be honest, a villain, especially a villain like Eobard Thawne, he looks mad foolish running around in a bright yellow suit. Yeah. So the way they have it, start off at the top being yellow and then transition to kind of like a darker mustard color to almost a black color. I think it looks good. I think it suits the character. I like the patchwork on the shoulders. It kind of looks pieced together. But at the same time, we've noticed that in the chest area, it sometimes seems a little bulky. It looks a lot better on Matt Letcher, I think, the guy who plays Eobard Thawne currently. It looks a lot better on him. I think they might have trimmed it up a little bit, but those leather suits, man, that's one of the issues they have. Sometimes it looks a little bulky, but we'll get more into that later. Yeah. What we got next?
Obsidian, a character that didn't get too much light. He's Justice Society of America and Legends of Tomorrow. Most of them got murked, but out of all of them there, I think he kind of had the best costume, or the most unique looking costume.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a great, for me, a lot of these names that we're going to come up with, I'm thinking of comics to live action, and once again, great comics to live action, portrayal, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to get much more into it than that, but it looks good. Looks good. And our final honorable mention before we get into our top five is the Atom from Arrow / Legends of Tomorrow, because I think he started off in Arrow.
Yeah.
Once again, they got the color scheme of the Atom, Ray Palmer, from the comic books. I'm a little annoyed by the power set they gave him, because they kind of made him a little bit like an Iron Man, so to speak, with the repulsor rays and the flight abilities. But the suit itself, I think it's a great homage to the Ray Palmer Atom suit.
Yeah.
Even the addition of the A in the middle, which normally isn't on the Atom suit, I think it looks dope. I think the Atom suit kind of needed a symbol in the middle, and them going with the A, I think it's a good choice.
Yeah.
DeepBoyce, start us out with number 5.
Number 5 is our boy, not just your boy, but our boy, all our boys. OG Jay Garrick, number 5 from The Flash. I mean, not only was it a cool payoff, but he had a pretty good live adaptation costume.
Definitely.
We love the belt, the look of the belt on the costume, the color scheme, the way it works with the top red half and the bottom blue pants.
Definitely.
And also we love the color scheme as well as the color of blue that they have and the color of red. It's a nice adaptation and it's a nice suit brought into the modern day, but it's also kind of harkening back to the classic Jay Garrick suit and the color scheme. And of course, we also really love the hat.
Yes,
especially when it's tilted to the side. I mean, we like the wings on the hat. We like that it looks worn, it looks dented. I mean, it kind of meshes with the origins and the storyline of the character. I mean, apparently
Definitely.
he was in some sort of war in Earth 2 or something, and that's why it's kind of passed down to him.
Yeah, they never really. I think Hunter Zolomon, when he was pretending to be Jay Garrick, said that his father was, I think, essentially the equivalent of Earth 2's World War II. I think.
Yeah.
His dad was like a veteran of that war, and that hat was from that. I think it was either World War II or World War I, one of those wars.
Yeah.
But his dad, that was his hat. Who knows if he was telling the truth or not? Because Hunter Zolomon was lying out of his ass every 2 seconds.
He's lying.
Yeah, he was lying all the time.
Long.
All season long, but no, I agree with all that, man.
Yeah, the only or the major negative of the suit is the lightning flash bolt on the chest. I mean, we felt it would have been better had he had the traditional Jay Garrick, just a huge lightning bolt coming in from the waist up into the chest. But regardless, it just works well. There isn't anything that's too negatively that you don't notice that's too negative on the suit.
Absolutely.
The only reason it's number 5, I guess, is because compared to the other suits, as cool as it looks and as fun as it looks, it's still little more on the silly side of things, but in a cool way. In a cool way.
Yeah. I mean, just to expound on some of the things you said, man. I mean, the lightning bolts on the belt are a fantastic detail. It also kind of just brings the suit together, have that golden belt, because he's got like the gold trimming on the suit. Yeah. Goes with the wings on the hat, man. Especially, I like it you mentioned the hat tilted to the side, because I mean, we laughed at first when we saw the hat tilted to the side in the show, but if you look back in the comic pictures of Jay Garrick in the comics, he actually does like tilt his hat to the side, and it's a cool adaptation, man. It's a fun adaptation and a huge payoff. Yeah. Shout outs to John Wesley Shipp, man. Yeah. But yeah, man, we're moving on to Arsenal number 4, man. We've got somebody that people probably forgotten about by now, but Arsenal, aka Roy freaking Harper, man. So for him, I just think the way they transition from, once again, comics to live action. He has his suit isn't fully red; it's kind of red up top and transitions to black, similar to like how Reverse Flash starts out with yellow, transitions to black at the bottom. Yeah. But yeah, I think tactically speaking, that's a smart idea because you don't want this dude running around in a bright red suit. You know what I'm saying? Like the red is already bright enough. Also like the fact that he's got like, he seems like an Arsenal. Like he's got arrows. He's got arrows, in the quiver. He's got arrows strapped around his thigh, like these throwing arrows. He's got a knife, tucked into his boot. Like he is an Arsenal. Other than that, they've got the lace trimming on the suit. Now, a lot of people, that's kind of a negative for us also because we feel like it's a little bit too much. Yeah. But what I will say, it's a tribute to Roy Harper's early appearance as Red Arrow in the comics. So in the comics, he kind of has a lace going across his chest. Yeah. And that would have looked a little silly in live action to have like this, big open section of the chest with just lace going through. So they try to pay homage. They try to play homage to that by having it kind of like, on each side of the torso and then along the arms. Yeah. But, all in all, great costume. Didn't really like it as much when Thea Queen was rocking it, I gotta admit.
Yeah. Because
I didn't really.
And I think part of that is because of the tailoring. The tailoring was really done well for Colton Haynes. Yeah. Like it fit like a glove, so to speak.
Absolutely.
So I guess with someone else kind of wearing a similar suit, you know, maybe doesn't look as great. Looks a little bulky here, or looks a little short there, or just doesn't, you know, I guess look as believable in motion.
Sure. But I mean, all in all, the costume looks great. Even throwing in the hoodie there, you know what I mean? The little hood that they got, you know, kind of like to kind of have some, you know, parody with the Green Arrow suit. I think it was a good look, man. Yeah. If only we got him alongside of, like, you know, the current Green Arrow suit or one of the later Green Arrow suits. But I digress, man.
Yeah, number 4, it is what Arsenal.
Man, hit us with number 3, man.
Number 3. This is where things get a little tricky.
Yeah, we battled it out.
Yeah.
As for who should be here.
Number 3 on the list is Jesse Quick.
Jesse freaking Quick, man.
Yeah, I mean, there aren't really many negatives to the suit. I mean, we like the color scheme. We like fantastic. We like the seams on the suit, the way the leather suit is constructed, the way it's you know, kind of shaped. Again, it's very form fitting. It looks great on her. We like the color. Violet Bean. And the
love of our lives.
The color scheme looks great as well. And we also think that it's one of the better looking masks
for sure
in any of these shows. Also works out very well. But you know, besides that, really the major negative that we had, which I think is a great point. I mean, you know, Hazy brought this up, is the fact that they literally just kind of stole a different character's suit and just put it on her.
Yeah, so early on in season 2, Trajectory, she was a character. She was like a one-off villain character. I mean, we're definitely gonna have a suit in this video, but y'all, it's literally the exact same suit. They just put like a lightning bolt on the chest, man.
Yeah,
that's some thievery right there, man. Trajectory's trapped in the Speed Force, man. That's not right.
Yeah, and
wherever she is, I don't know. I think she dissolved. I forgot what happened to her.
Yeah, she just turned into sawdust or something. But and it's a negative because I think Trajectory looks a little bit better with the suit.
You think so?
I mean, the cornrows weren't working for me, but I guess because she was the originator of the suit. Again, it's just something about that tailoring idea. Like I could be completely wrong, but I just feel that when they originally make these suits, they kind of really tailor them to the character it's supposed to be, and then when they start making changes, you start seeing parts that don't work out. Maybe something's a little too baggy, or something's a little too short or too long, or something. Yeah. But again, the color scheme is great with the black, the yellow on the side, and the red. I like the color of the red. The lightning bolt look works well. Another slight negative is the belt. It's not even really a belt. It's just like a buckle.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it looks almost like it's attached to the jacket. Yeah, I don't really, because I mean, looking at Trajectory, looking at her suit. I actually think Jesse Quick looks better in the suit.
Yeah.
Because I like the addition of the lightning bolt. I think that I think it like certifies her as a Flash.
True.
But yeah, the belt buckle looks a little off kilter on Trajectory. That's the only reason why I even noticed that it wasn't actually a belt.
Yeah.
But another negative, real quick, why I didn't make either 1 or 2, because I'm telling you, me and boys battled out on this.
Yeah.
We were going back and forth. For us, we look at it and we say, you know what, like Jesse Quick from the comics, like this is not really like a straight up adaptation of that. You know what I mean? Like Jesse Quick in the comics kind of has like a old school golden age look.
Yeah.
Which this suit doesn't really take. And I think it's better. You know what I mean? I think this live action suit is better than any suit Jesse Quick has had in the comics.
Yeah.
But that being said, man, we're on to number 2.
Yeah. Like you were saying, number 2, it's really the reason why it was on top of the Jesse Quick costume.
Sure.
Because that's CW's Kid Flash.
Yes, sir.
Costume. And the major reason is because it's a great live adaptation. Like it's literally ripped off of the pages of the comic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you look at Kid Flash's suit, particularly in DC Rebirth that's going on right now, who I think this character is a little bit based on, it's with the exception of the belt, which I think is better in live action. I think the belt, the bigger belt buckle with the red belt, it serves to create better parity between the upper yellow part of the costume and the lower red part of the costume. Honestly, I think the suit looks better than Barry's suit, than Barry Allen's Flash suit.
Yep.
Because I've always kind of complained that the Barry Allen suit, like I know the Flash wears a lot of red. I know he's the Scarlet Speedster, but he needs a little bit more yellow in the costume, and it's a really dark red.
Yeah,
it's a really dark red, and I don't know if it's as dark or the same amount of darkness as Kid Flash's red, but there's something, I think that the contrast in the yellow and red makes the red stand out a little bit more. You know, the detailing on the sides, you know, he's got some like red detailing on the sides that kind of come, you know, that around his armpits and kind of goes around his back. I think it's a great costume. The only negative we have is the mask, right?
Yeah, specifically the top of the mask. I mean, when in comparison to the comic book version, Wally West Rebirth, it's more angular, and it really looks more like a mask, like an eye mask with a chin strap part to it.
Sure.
And this live action Wally West kind of just looks like a full helmet, but with like the top just kind of just cut off real quick.
Yeah, somebody like sliced off the top of his head or something.
Yeah.
That being said, you know, it kind of looks better than Barry Allen, because Barry Allen has like this peanut head thing going on. Like, so for some reason, his head just looks really big in that mask. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, we could get into that some other time about.
Definitely.
I mean, there's a reason why we didn't put the Flash in our top 5. But I mean,
yes, the Flash is not in our top 5.
Wally West, the costume could be made that much better with just a slight alteration in the angles of the top of the mask, like just slight.
Sure.
And it would just be like, wow, this is fantastic.
And a little bit of, I mean, the suit looks good on him, but a little bit of tailoring also, because you know all these CW verse, Arrowverse suits, they're made out of leather, and some of them leather stretches over time. Some of them you see there's a little bit of bulk. So like Wally West, like around the chest area, sometimes it seems a little bulky. Also around the mask, sometimes it seems like either the mask is bulky or his face is too big for the mask. But there's something going on there where it looks a little awkward. But nonetheless, the costume looks fantastic.
Yep.
You know, that first promo image we saw of it looked awesome. It looks great in live action for the most part. But DeepBoyce, man, we are on to number 1. Tell us what numero uno is.
Number 1. And for the fans out there of all these shows, this might be controversial. This whole list might be controversial. And this might also, because I think the part of the reason why number 1 might be controversial is because it almost seems like a safe pick. But our number 1 pick is Green Arrow, specifically season 4 Green Arrow.
Yes.
That's where he's not the Arrow, he's the Green Arrow,
full-fledged Green Arrow.
And he's wearing full green, and he doesn't have the sleeves. That's the giveaway. He doesn't have the sleeves. He just has the shoulder pad. That's the one we picked for our number 1 suit.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think once again going back to the comics, great homage to the comics to have him, you know, sleeveless, but he's not just walking around like, hey, I ain't got no armor on. Like, he's got the shoulder pads. One thing that you pointed out that I didn't notice but I loved, they have like these metal bolts on the suit.
Yeah.
To kind of give it like a tailored look. Like each part of the suit was specifically designed. We know it's made out of leather, but it's almost like you could even imagine like there being like Kevlar pieces under each, you know, bolt to kind of protect his musculature. Yeah. It's well tailored to his body. Like Amel looks great in the suit, and also, you know, shout out to the season 5 suit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's got the sleeves, which I'm not necessarily, you know, a fan of. You know, I preferred it when he didn't have the sleeves, but the suit looks great nonetheless. The boots also, I noticed this yesterday when we were looking. It's kind of got like the folded down Robin Hood look. They're black boots, but it's kind of like that folded down Robin Hood look that on the top area of the boot, which I didn't notice before, and I think is also a really dope homage to the comics.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the leather hoodie works well on this suit as well. And it's just, again, the sleeveless, not only does it look really cool, but it's extremely practical. I mean, we've both done archery, and I'm pretty sure if you're wearing like a leather jacket, it'd be really tough to shoot some arrows. So
for sure. But you know, it also looks, like you said, it looks comfortable, man. Like it looks like, you know, it looks like if you were a hero and you had to change it to your suit real quick, you could swing around back and change into this outfit, no problem. Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Yeah. And if we were going to have one negative, and this is kind of like a common thread among some of these costumes.
For sure.
It's one like color, just like one whole color. Which, you know, this green, this sort of olive dark green or forest green works. But, you know, if you was a slight different shade or something, or even like in some of the detailing, some of the different like parts of the top part and the pants, which you can see they're like, even the pants, it's not completely leather. Sure. But maybe like a slighter, maybe a darker green or a different shade of green would make it really, really good.
we need something to show a little bit of contrast to make the green. I don't want to say pop because there is like a tactical advantage, but if you look at like the DC Rebirth series that's going on right now for Green Arrow, they actually took the look from Amell in season 4 for the DC Rebirth suit. But the difference between that suit is that the arm guards and then the stomach area and some detailing along the back, there's like a bronzish color. Yeah. You can see it more, better in some of the comic book panels, but it's like kind of like a bronze or brown color. And it serves to give some contrast to make the green show up a little. The green is still like a good dark and tactical color, but it does make the Green Arrow aspect of it show up a little more. Also, there's sections of the suit, for example, like the pants, they're like a darker green, whereas the sections of the upper body are a little bit brighter. So it still has an overall dark tone, but the green pops a little bit. So I would say, that's the only negative. But Stephen Amell, Green Arrow, you guys got our number 1 suit in our top 5. Does seem like a safe pick, like you said.